This week, we talk about all of the actors that were revealed to show up in the new Avengers Doomsday movie. We talk about some new DC news that was released about Superman and Lanterns. And we talk about all the really cool news and trailers coming out of Cinemacon this week. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Ay, 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 ay!
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger!
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week, we got a lot of fun news to talk about in the world of entertainment. But before we jump into any of that, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
Oh, this week I've been nerding about fact that WrestleMania is only like 20 days away.
Ooh, nice.
It's a big deal. And they keep on having more events overseas right now. They just had their last event, I believe Raw Monday night was the last one overseas, and then they're coming back after that. But it's been awesome to see them overseas because they haven't aired a ton over there. So like the crowds just, they're nuts. Like it's like soccer crowds. They chant the whole time.
Nice.
They have been almost just as fun to watch as the actual wrestlers themselves.
Yeah.
In this, which has been just a treat. So for me, it's basically what I've been nerding out about. That, and then a lot of new music coming out right now. So if you're into anything, if you need suggestions, let me know.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm nerding out about, well, first of all, I've been loving the Invincible show, which I finished last week or the week before, I can't remember, season 3.
Nice.
But I've never, other than literally issue number 1, I've never read Invincible. So I got my hands on the 3 volumes of the big giant omnibuses.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and I am about like 30 issues in on volume 1. But it is so good.
Oh yeah, I hate to say, but might be my favorite comic book ever.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy to say that because I feel like I'm sacrilege because Marvel comics are like, they're my favorite books. People who read The Walking Dead kind of understand, like, the way they talk and stuff is so, like, realistic.
Yeah.
Comparatively to that universe, like, which is kind of interesting because it's like, wouldn't be realistic if it was here, but like, for some reason, the way they talk makes it feel like very real, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've also noticed reading, like I said, I'm about 30 issues in. They were at the end of season 1 around issue 12. So the books have way more content than we've seen so far in the show. The show is kind of stretching out the content of the comics. So it's just really interesting to me how they've got loads of content based on the rate of the show versus the rate of the comic. And I'm going to very soon be past season 2 and 3 probably and not even be out of volume 1 of the omnibuses. But man, it's so good. I'm really enjoying the book, even knowing the storylines already, because I'm getting real excited about the fact that I'm going to be able to skip past where the show is because it's on hiatus right now. So yeah, it's just a super good read.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into the news. Let's start over here with Marvel. This past week, there was a really cool video that Marvel kind of slow released over a short time period, showing these little, actor slash director chairs with all the names of the folks that are going to be showing up in Avengers Doomsday. That was so cool how they did that. But man, we are getting some crazy characters that I didn't even think about. We all dreamed about it, but we didn't know. And it was really cool to see who's been officially confirmed. But let me just kind of run through this list here. We got Chris Hemsworth, who's Thor, of course. Vanessa Kirby, who's Invisible Woman in the upcoming Fantastic Four. Anthony Mackie, who's, new Captain America, formerly Falcon. Sebastian Stan, Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Letitia Wright, who is Shuri. Paul Rudd, who is Ant-Man. And it was really funny how his little chair was really little.
Yeah, I like that too.
Then we got Wyatt Russell, who's the U.S. agent. Tina Huerta Mieja, who is Namor. Eben Moss Backrack, who is the Thing in the new Fantastic Four. Simu Liu, who is Shang-Chi. Florence Pugh, who is Yelena, the new Black Widow. And then we got Kelsey Grammer, who's the Beast from the Fox X-Men.
Yeah, It was basically, it seemed like it was MCU on the first set, and then the second set of chairs was basically like X-Men.
Yeah. And they kept going. Let's see. Lewis Pullman, who's going to be Sentry in this upcoming Thunderbolts movie,
You
the
got
new
a first look
Falcon.
at him as Sentry, by the way. The figure came out,
Oh, the figure came out. Okay.
and you can see like everything, and it looks really cool.
Oh, that is awesome.
That happened today. It was a Marvel Select figure, or the day before. The Marvel Select figure came out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it wasn't an April Fool's joke. I had to double check it.
Yep. Let's see. Danny Ramirez, the new Falcon. Joseph Quinn, the new Human Torch. David Harbour, the Red Guardian. Winston Duke, who is M'Baku from Black Panther. Hannah John Kamen, who plays Ghost, who will be in Thunderbolts. Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
I'm going to be honest, the Tom Hiddleston one was a surprise for me.
Yeah. And I wonder how they'll, when we last saw him in the finale of Loki season 2, and he's kind of holding together all the timelines. I wonder how that's going to be involved. I'm sure they'll explain it, but it's.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be like a time thing. I think that aspect of Tom Hiddleston's like done.
That is true, because when they do this whole thing in Battle World or whatever, don't they pull them from all over time and space?
All over, well, it's not time, but all over space.
Gotcha.
So they're dimensions. So it's not
Like variants.
variance, yes, not time differentials, even though they might be at separate times in their dimension. It's not actually time.
Gotcha. Let's see. Patrick Stewart, Professor X. Ian McKellen as Magneto. Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Rebecca Romaine as Mystique. James Marston as Cyclops. Which, side note, you texted me a picture that they've already released online of him in his comic accurate suit.
Yeah,
It was so cool.
it does. It's very, very animated series.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, what if it's not the Fox universe? What if it's the animated?
That would be amazing.
Well, because if you think about it, look at the characters who so far we've had. Those are all characters you could easily play those versions of those characters.
That's true.
And there's no Halle Berry.
Right?
Well, that version of Storm sounds nothing like, or looks nothing Halle Berry.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see, to round off this list here, we got Channing Tatum as Gambit, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic from the new movie coming up,
Woot.
and Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom was the final chair.
But he was sitting in his chair, and then after that, he turned around and did the shh noise.
Yep.
Which makes me think he's playing two different characters.
Ooh, maybe. Yeah, like he's winking at us, sort of.
Well, it's the same wink he did to Doctor Strange at the end.
Oh, okay.
It seemed that way anyway to me. But maybe I'm overlooking. Maybe I'm too excited.
Yeah.
Coming back to that.
I like how they put his chair last, and the tagline or whatever was, "It all leads to doom." I thought that was kind of cool.
Yes.
And then another statement came out from the showrunners of this movie that this was not a complete set of actors. This was just what they've told us so far. So I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
Are you taking that as just there are some people we don't want to reveal because it's a secret, or did you take it as there's going to be a whole new set of cheers?
I feel like
they're characters that they're like, hey, we're not going to reveal everyone who's in this movie.
that's how I feel. Like it's gonna be a surprise. Like they want to hold a few surprises for us.
Yeah, because you know that there's going to be some like villains and things we probably or don't know anything about.
Yep. But yeah, that list was really cool, and knowing they're holding back a little bit of surprises, I was already pumped for this movie, but just seeing all those names made it even more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of bummer news. Some information came out today that sounds like Blade has officially been canceled indefinitely. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, does it? I don't know if it sucks. That character, people have a lot of hype for that character, but has that character ever held a book for a decent amount of time?
I guess you're right.
I think people get excited because of those movies that with Wesley Snipes, and I think that was like just at the right place, right time.
Yeah.
Because we're not in that edgy 90s or early 2000s. Like, I feel like those came out at the perfect time. I don't think if those movies came out today, I think they'd be treated like the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see that.
I just don't see. I think Wesley Snipes gave those movies a big nod to make those movies popular. I don't think Mahershala Ali's awesome.
I was excited to
he'd
see
be
the
really
MCU
cool.
treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And then
get that.
to see him tie in other outside of Blade stuff, possibly. But yeah,
They can go about Midnight Sun stuff and go around it. And it's not like Blade's not going to appear. There's just not going to be a Blade movie.
yeah, that's true. He could still show up other places.
Yeah, like a Midnight Sun stuff. Yeah, I've always been like, ever since they announced that, I was like, oh, that'll be cool. We'll get like a Midnight Suns-esque movie, but I don't need Blade for that. I can do a Doctor Strange movie where he pulls together the Midnight Suns, or I can do a Ghost Rider movie, or, Blade's interesting to a point, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm good. But that's just me. I don't know. Some people love the character, I'm sure. I just don't find him that interesting after a certain point. I mean, does DC have their like version of that character, the vampire hunter?
Let me think. Well, Blade is a vampire hunter, a daywalker. The only
Yeah, I mean, maybe like
That's what I
Constantine
was
is
thinking,
like the
Constantine,
closest thing.
but he's,
But
magic, not really a daywalker. But yeah,
yeah,
he's kind of the closest thing in my mind, though, I guess.
and like the Hellblazer book was around for decades.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I have strong opinions about that and I should, but I just don't think it's that great.
yeah.
So it was just like, it's a bummer. It's one less thing we get to see, but I'm not completely in
You're not
the
crying.
realm of thought. No, and I don't think that I won't ever see Blade on screen in the MCU. Like, I think it'll happen. It just might not be with a Blade movie.
Yeah. Well, there's a new rumor going around that Chris Evans is going to appear in Fantastic Four First Steps. And people don't know as what character, but it sounds like a variant Captain America is the rumor. But they have no, legs to stand on with that. They're very confident in the rumor of him being there, but they're not confident in the rumor of who he's going to play. So I wonder what he's going to be. Is it going to be a post-credit scene, or is he going to be just a variant from their Earth? Or maybe he'll just be talked about. Who knows? But it sounds like he's supposed to show up in that movie when it comes out this summer.
So we found out if the Fantastic Four are even from our Earth.
From everything I've read, it sounds like they're from their own separate dimension, their own world.
So it could be a Captain America from their world.
That's what I'm thinking. But also, knowing Doom is gathering his own, group of bad variants, what if we sort of get a first glimpse of one of these people he's going to be gathering for Doomsday, and maybe he's a bad variant? Who knows? This is just all thoughts.
Yeah,
Let's see. Oh, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse finally has been given an official release date, but unfortunately, it's not till June 2027. That is so long from now. There's a lot
yeah,
going on
yeah.
at Cinemacon this week, which began, I think, yesterday, and that was one of the things they released, was that information.
We
Oh,
just watched the first one the other night.
oh, nice. Those movies are so good. I feel like I see something new every time I watch it too.
Yeah, it's so good.
Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland has finally been given both a title and a release date. It's going to be called Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it comes out July 31st, 2026. So that's coming next summer. And it sounds like it's going to be a fresh start for the MCU Spider-Man, obviously after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. And it's reporting that the main villain is going to be the Chameleon.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then this past week, Daredevil surprise dropped 2 episodes on us. And once we're kind of all caught up together, we'll talk about that soon. As of us recording, even the next episode's coming out tonight. So next week, we'll have lots of Daredevil to talk about.
Yep, absolutely.
And speaking of Daredevil, did you see those set photos from season 2 where he's wearing the all black suit with the big red double D letters on his chest?
I didn't see that. But that's cool.
Yeah, he looks super good.
Is that the same suit he's wearing in Friendly Neighborhood?
I think it is the same suit.
Interesting.
The all black with the big red letters on his chest.
Yep, that's what the suit was.
Yeah, man, that show is so good. It is staying true to the Netflix version, but adding so much MCU elements, and I'm loving it so much.
Yeah.
Well, over with DC, speaking of CinemaCon, they're kind of releasing all kinds of stuff. So tonight, this evening, they're showing to members of CinemaCon, the people that are there attending, they're going to get to see the full-length trailer for Superman. And I'm guessing they would drop it online after that. But if they don't, it's officially been confirmed that the first movie it'll be attached to is the Minecraft movie. So if people go see the Minecraft movie, you'll get to see the full-length Superman trailer ahead of it.
Interesting.
And this is not DC, but early reviews for the Minecraft movie came in, and people are singing its praises, which is not what I expected at all.
Oh,
um,
interesting. I
yeah,
thought it would be bad.
that's what I thought too. One review I read said the early reviews are praising this insanely bonkers movie. So my son wants to see it real bad. His birthday's coming up, and he wants to take some cousins and friends to go see it together. And I think that's what we're gonna do. And I'll report
That's
back.
awesome. You know what though? It kind of looks like one of those movies where if they don't go full bonkers with it, it would have been bad.
Yeah,
So like that might have what saved it.
could be. And who doesn't love Jack Black and whatever he's in? So,
Yeah, and Jason Momoa in that
yep.
like girly outfit, and
Yep. Well, back over to DC stuff. So we know Guy Gardner is in Superman, but they officially announced yesterday that Nathan Fillion will be a cast member on the new Lanterns series on Max. So we're gonna see Guy Gardner again very soon on the Lanterns series.
that's so cool.
I wonder if we'll see, Kyle Rayner and Jessica Cruz and maybe even Alan Scott and,
Yeah,
other
I don't.
popular alien lanterns.
Yeah, I bet we see Kyle at some point or another. I doubt we see Jessica Cruz
Yeah, at least not this early.
or Simon Biaz.
Yep, yep.
Can't forget about him, the most controversial of all lanterns for no apparent reason
Right.
whatsoever.
And they've made it sound like even though this is a big space police corps, it's going to be grounded on Earth, at least in season one. So it makes sense to stick to the Earth lanterns.
2A14 baby.
2A14 represent. Well, that's it with DC. Again, there's not a ton with Star Wars, but it just came out. There was a report saying that the amount of actual fan backlash of The Acolyte being canceled with cliffhangers and not wrapping up the whole Darth Pelagius story, it's reporting that we might get a season two after all.
That's incredible.
I know.
It's amazing what fan backlash can do.
I know. And I'm excited. One, I didn't hate the show, but two, I want to see more Darth Pelagius stuff.
Yeah, they should just make like a 2 hour special. It's just about Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, anything. Give us something.
Because that's really when they did that, everyone was like, okay, I really want to watch this now.
Yep.
And it's all that took was like him in a cave,
Yep.
like being all creepy.
And the show was over.
Yeah, I know. It was such a weird show. And even I have to admit, those first couple episodes of that show, I was just like, okay. But I think I have that issue with Star Wars. We've had this a lot. If the Star Wars isn't like complete fan service, I have a hard time with it at first. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
And I feel like some of like The Acolyte, for example, it was not my favorite Star Wars series they've made, but a few of the episodes they should have turned into one episode. It's like the way they broke them up kind of made me like, like the way they didn't complete a story and the way that they leave you hanging with some of the kind of like side stuff with some of these characters. It's like you could have told that a little bit more in one episode instead of breaking it up the way you did. And I don't know, it was kind of hard to get through because of that for me, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it was definitely not like the best Star Wars show at all by any means, but it had enough stuff in it that made us like, okay, I want to finish it at least.
Yep. And then, of course, Andor, that was a slow burn at first, but then once you get to like the third or fourth episode, you're super sucked in.
Yeah, and that show's so finite because you know what's going to happen at the end. So
Right.
that's another show that's like, oh my gosh. The fact that they're doing a second season of it, that's it, and they're telling us ahead of time that this is it,
Yep.
I'm happy about that. It's like, don't stretch this out any longer. It has to.
And that show premieres April 22nd in just a couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, whoop.
Well, everywhere else out there in the pop culture universe, we got some news about a new live action Scooby Doo series in the works, and it's about a murder that happens at a summer camp. So that's going to be interesting, I think.
Gotta love new Scooby.
Right?
Love all Scooby.
Oh, and then they also released this past week the fact that they are going to be making a live action Legend of Zelda movie. It's going to be a trilogy. And not only that, its premiere is going to be March 26th, 2027. They've already put a date to it. So I'm so excited about that. That is my favorite video game series of all time. I'm excited to see it as a movie. I don't know what they'll adapt, but I kind of want it to be original, but who knows? Who knows what they do? I'm going to love it.
So I saw that announced, and somebody had photoshopped a bunch of celebrities in all but you know what the best looking one was?
Who was it?
Zac Efron.
Oh, as Link?
Yeah, it looked
Okay.
so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks good.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I do. I wonder who
But
they're gonna do.
oh, he better be young.
That's what I'm thinking. They
And
got to be young, and if they add the time travel element, they'll have to have a kid version and a grown up version. And but who knows what they'll go with?
I hope they do Ocarina.
You
I
know?
think it'll be the easiest to adapt, I think.
Yeah, and it's a great story too.
Yeah. And it's like it makes Ganon the bad guy who is like a good bad guy.
Yeah,
It breaks up into sections. So like the first section he's a kid. Second section you're dealing with dungeons, and then the third section is the Triforce dungeons.
yep.
It's three movies.
Oh yeah, they could do 3 movies that way, or the sequel game to that was Majora's Mask, which I think would make an interesting movie as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting movie, but I think it's a little weird.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They could break Ocarina of Time, just break that story alone into 3 movies.
You do one is like a kid leading up to him meeting Zelda, all that stuff. The second one, it's all of the different castles or dungeons or whatever, and then the third one is the three Triforce dungeons.
Yeah, I just know whatever they do, I'm going to be excited. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, Link doesn't talk. Link doesn't talk." I wonder if they're going to go that route or still make him talk because it's a movie, not a game. I wonder what they'll do.
Does Link not talk?
In the games, in any game, all you ever hear is the yeah, the jumping and fighting sounds. He never talks, and you never see dialogue either. You only see what he's being told. He never specifically says something.
Oh, I
I
don't
know.
think I ever realized that.
Yeah, and a lot of video game purists are kind of freaking out, like they better not make him talk. And I'm like, well, it's a movie. I don't care if he talks. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if he does talk, so what?
but yeah,
If he does talk, maybe he actually gets a chance with Zelda. Goodness.
right. Excuse me, princess.
Yeah, he talks in the cartoons.
That's true. He did talk in the cartoon. Let's see. Next thing on the list here, it sounds like there's going to be a new live action Gundam movie, and it's going to be starring Sydney Sweeney. So that's
Shut up.
in the works.
I gotta see that.
And oh, do you remember? I think it was either 1 or 2 years ago. There was this Looney Tunes movie called Coyote versus Acme, and then they filmed it, they
Yeah.
made it, and then they completely shelved it. And all the actors, like Will Forte was the main actor in this, and they were all kind of livid about this. Well, it sounds like a new company purchased that movie from Warner Brothers, and they're going to be releasing it soon. So that movie is going to see the
Interesting.
light of day.
I wonder how bad it is.
People are actually saying it's not bad. The people that have, seen it and worked in it. But I guess
Yeah.
anyone might be a little biased, but they're saying it's not bad, so who knows? It's also caused a conversation about I want someone to do this with the Batgirl movie that never got showed, which would be kind of
Yeah.
crazy if that happened.
Well, I have a feeling that that movie's bad.
It really could be.
I have a horrible premonition that that movie is actually very, very bad.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all that stuff being done and then them not releasing a movie?
Yeah, they were talking a lot about it has to do with it was going to make more money as a tax write-off than an actual released film and blah blah blah. But I don't know. The thing that kept drawing me to want to see it is just old Bruce Wayne in a very Batman Beyond role, but with only with Batgirl.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton played that character. So that right there makes me want to see it, even if it winds up being awful. But we probably won't ever get to see this version. It's just this whole Looney Tunes movie is making that conversation happen. So that'd be kind of interesting if
Yeah.
it did come about.
Yeah.
Oh, the Last of Us producer, it sounds like is currently working on a live action League of Legends TV series, so that could also be interesting.
Yeah, it might be cool.
I've never personally been into the League of Legends, but I know it's a Netflix animated series right now and it's video games and all kinds of stuff. It looks really cool. I've seen a lot of cosplay and everything from that. So yeah, a live action show would be cool.
They have that show Arcane, or
Yeah.
maybe, but I guess the soundtrack's been doing very well for it.
Oh, nice.
So
Let's see. I know we already mentioned Cinemacon, but as of now, it might already be out. But there's supposedly a new full length trailer for the Karate Kid Legends movie that focuses even more on Jackie Chan still having that flavor, that Jackie Chan flavor.
interesting. Okay.
And also, a new Gen V trailer is reported to be coming out pretty soon. We don't have a date, but they just
Well,
said
that's exciting.
soon. Yeah. So that's most of the news. One final thing I'll mention, if you are a fan of Kevin Smith and his, View Askew Universe movies, he is officially the owner again of the rights to the Dogma movies, and they're re-releasing it for a 25th anniversary in theaters, and they're doing a tour, and look online to see if it's at a city near you if you're interested in anything like that. But in the Kansas City area, on April 28th, it's going to be in Olathe, Kansas at the AMC Studio 28, and I think the ticket was $50, and you get to go watch the movie in a room with Kevin, and after the movie's over there's a Q&A session with Kevin, and again that's happening on the 28th, so that's really soon. That's this month. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out. And if you don't live anywhere near us, check the website because they might be coming to a city near you. But that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But hey, that's all the news for this week. So as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
Bye.
Bye.